One of the things that I really love about doing this show, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I have to say it all the time. The people that I meet, the conversations that I have, it's so diverse. It's like such a wide cross section of persons who sit on the brunch set and who have taken the time to really inform and educate. And we just want to say thank you to Dr. Faith B. Yisrael, Secretary for the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, for gracing us and having that wonderful conversation. And we want to say blessings to each and every one of you, and thank you so much for being a part of Brunch today. And of course, my next guest is no different. He is such a staple of the show. It's not even funny. He's always here, always willing to share information, and I absolutely love that about him. Michael Stewart is here, and we're going to be talking about, those causes of problems in relationships. Of course, we outlined 10, but I mean, if the time permits us, we could go on and on because it's such a wonderful conversation to have. And you guys need to listen because it's so important. So, Mr. Michael Stewart, good morning.
Good morning, and I promise you that you would not have time for the 10.
I wouldn't have time.
Not for the 10.
Oh gosh, so that means you had to come back yet again
I'll be more than happy to do
have
so.
that information for us. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. You
And
look as luscious as ever.
Oh, good. Well, thank you. And let me just say, you walked in and I love your ensemble. I love the colors that you chose.
Okay.
Those lovely earth tones are wonderful.
Thank you very kind.
Right. So tell us, let's delve in. Relationships, problems. Let's delve into that. That's so informative right now. We need to just be in the know as to the do's and the don'ts.
Yes.
So let's start with you.
So one of the pet areas that I recognize that you have is that communication aspect. We usually break down in communication.
Definitely.
So I think that is a good place to start as to how we end up breaking down with the communication. Many times when we speak from a point of our emotions and how we feel. And the person hears it from the standpoint of aggression and feeling attacked and blamed. So the person is speaking, when they use their words, they're using the words that are emotive in nature. So when somebody says, you don't support me with anything I do, that's emotional because that is never really a fact. Because the fact that you're in the relationship with the person, there was some measure of support at some point. But the person takes it literally and now feels attacked. So that is the breakdown of the relationship issue of communication that we're talking about. So we try to tell people is that, let's take it the person who's on the other side of hearing this. Don't listen to what the person has said literally. Feel for them. Be empathetic and put yourself into the person's shoes and say, what is this person trying to say? That because that they are hurt, they have said something else that might affect me and might make me feel attacked and so on, or make it sound accusatory.
Right.
But it may not be that is what they are saying. Because most times the person is saying it because they are frustrated. They have been trying so hard. And just give the person a chance to hear what they are saying and not the words itself. So that's number one. The other thing is that we usually say is not what you say, it's how you say it. So it is important for us in choosing our words, when we're going to say something to somebody, to choose those words judiciously. By saying, I want to say that I need support, more support from the person. If therefore we want more support, then don't say you don't support me in anything I do.
Right.
Say, whenever you are involved in what I'm doing, I find that things move along my life faster. And I would like to see that kind of support that you have always given me in the past. You are actually saying you're not getting it anymore. But you are saying it in a subtle way that you used to give me it in the past. And I want it back now because I need you at this time in my life or to do this particular project. So when we choose the words that does not make a person feel as though they are being
Attacked.
pressured, attacked,
Yes.
accused, etc. Just choose them carefully. So once both sides operate with that and the person gives some leeway and say, okay, the person used some wrong words, but this is what I'm hearing that they are trying to say,
Right.
then we're good to go.
And you know, one of the things that I have seen so many times is that persons realize that at some point in the journey in the relationship, they are not on the same page. They may have started off being having that bond and having that easy flow of communication, and as with everything else, a person changes. We go through so many changes, so much evolution. Our mind might find things that we now may take precedence
Right.
over certain parts of our relationship, and then there's that shift. There's a shift in what each part of the partner in the relationship wants. This is something that I see happening all the time because we change. As we grow, we change, we evolve. And so most of us have that breakdown there. And then we come at it with emotion, as you
Yes.
said.
Yes.
And so it's things, it's a jab,
Yes.
you know?
And we do change. The reason why a snail changes its shell is because it is growing, but the shell is not.
Right.
So if you're in a relationship that you are growing and the person is not growing with you, the natural thing that the person wants to do is to change the shell, that which constricts me. So it is important for both people to grow together, because had the shell been growing, the snail would not have changed the shell.
Yes.
You see?
I get it.
So if my partner is taking certain actions and they're developing and so on, can I develop in some other area? I don't have to go academic. I don't have to go with what my partner is doing, but I must be able to go so that our conversation can continue to flow, because we are able to connect with each other. And if that is not taking place, the communication is going to break down.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. What are some of the other issues that we might face and problems in our relationships?
Intimacy.
Okay.
Intimacy. We all need to feel a sense of connection, that me and this person, we almost like a symphony. We in a musical band, we may not be playing the same instrument. We have different instruments, but we playing the same song with different tunes. So both of us want the best for the relationship, but I don't have to do the exact thing you are doing to help us both get there. And allow each other to be able to connect intimately, not only from a sexual standpoint, but the way how we feel safe with each other. That emotional connection is important, that this person understands me.
Yes.
This person appreciates me. This person gets me. And I get the person. I can be able to relate to the person. It's when that has broken down that we miss that emotional intimacy, and of course it is going to now affect the physical intimacy. Because if you don't feel connected with a person, well, in the case of many women, they've got to feel emotionally connected with the person that they are going to give themselves fully with. They may have sex, but they may not be able to make love to somebody they don't feel connected with.
Yes, that connection must be there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So it is more than just an act. It is almost an experience that takes place. But that experience physically does not come from the bedroom. It comes long before that, as to how I feel about you and how you feel about me. And that's where we have to now work around. Many times we bypass that. We will have a busy schedule. We come home and so on. We shower, bam, sex, go on and sleep. And you ask yourself, why is the person not involved in the act? It's as though they have somebody else.
Yeah.
It's as though they no longer love making love to me and so on. But we don't connect. So if we don't connect there otherwise, then it is more or less we are tenants in the same bed.
Yeah.
You see? So that's one of the other issues.
And you know,
that
intimacy in itself, for intimacy and effective intimacy, if I may say, to happen, then the connection, as you said, has to be there long before.
That's
That
it.
communication, that understanding, that support has to be there. So you get to a point where you're just going through the motions,
That's right.
and each party is just cold. There's a routine. You get
And one feel being used. It's just
yeah,
all about sex, and
yeah,
that has its all implication. So you could tell that the person wants sex tonight because of the things they do, the things they say. But this wasn't there all the time. It wasn't there generally during the week. But you could get rid of that if generally this is how we relate to each other
right.
in a very soft, tender, affectionate way. Then that person would not have a problem now in making love at that point in time.
Right. And some women, I say this because I have heard it. It's not just me running off at my mouth right now. I have heard it before where women say they feel like a piece of meat. I've heard men say the same thing. And it took me back because I thought in my little cloister, I thought that that was just a female conversation. But I have also heard men express that, right now she's just treating me like I'm a piece of meat.
But well, I'm not too sure I've heard that much,
Yeah, I've
because
heard
because
people
I know
say
that for
that.
sure because a woman needs that emotional connection that she said she feel used, she feel as a piece of meat. But remember, a man, even though he's vexed with a woman, he's quite prepared to still have sex with her as long as she's
Yes.
prepared to hands it up.
Yes.
That he's okay. But yet, I know that you may have some of the men would really feel used because it's only when she wants sex that she knows me. I know that men generally more feel used when she wants money.
Okay. Oh, that's a whole other
Right.
vibe, right?
So she wants to give sex because she wants money.
Right.
So that is when I understand that he feels used. But trust me, most men would say, hey, okay, you want it? I ready for you. Yeah,
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 you see?
yeah. There's that dynamic, that small percentage, because I actually heard men say that,
Right.
I feel
Okay.
like a piece of meat. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That is a nice research to start with. To start.
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
else can we look into? Because there's so many things that come into having a relationship and the successful one of
Yes.
that.
Yes.
What are some of the other causes that we can look into? We touched
Trust.
on intimacy, communication,
Trust.
trust.
Trust. Trust. I usually say trust once broken could never get back its original.
Yeah.
Because there is always going to be now something. Not only can you not get it back with the person that you're with, even when that person moves on to a next relationship, the trust and innocence of that trust, you don't go into the next relationship because you're now looking to see if this person is going to do you what that last person did.
Right.
So it's like your virginity. If you lost your virginity, you can't unvirgin yourself.
Yeah.
You have lost it forever.
Forever.
But you can do other things to be able to create a semblance of acceptance thereafter. So, but there are going to be some adjustment that has to be made in the relationship if trust has been taken. So if I have been untrustworthy to somebody, to my wife or what have you, there are things that I would need to do more than I would have if I did not breach the trust. If I have somebody in my car, if I have a woman in my car, I may need to explain who is that woman
Right.
before I may not have had to explain. But I can't say that I don't know why they have to ask me who that person is. Because I breach trust, I need to now show some measure of restoring that confidence. I receive a telephone call, I'm going to take it privately, and my wife is sitting there. I need to say, hey, listen, I need to take this call. It's from the office. I'm just going to go on the balcony and take the
Right.
call. Just explain it. But if I just take the call, before trust was broken, I could have taken that call, just go on the balcony, talk, and come back. But now I need that explanation that has to take place. And it is on both sides, both the man doing that and also the woman doing that if she is the one who may have breached trust in some
Right.
form or the other.
Trust, trust, trust. I mean, we say it and it sounds so simple when we do. But do we even fathom the implications of not having trust. Because, like you said, once it has been broken or tainted in any way, shape, or form, you seldom get it back. This is stress on a relationship.
Right. Because if I found out that you breached the trust, my question is going to be, what else have you breached that I'm not aware of?
Right.
So it does not just stick to this issue. It now expands a number of other issues in the relationship. Who else knows also? So let's say that it is a case of infidelity and I have been unfaithful to you.
Right.
You will now feel uncomfortable in the presence of my friends because you're going to ask yourself, probably your friends knew all of the time and I was like a fool, did not know.
Right.
So that also affects not only both of us, it affects other areas of my life because you'd want to know what else I may have been doing, and it also affects the relationship and association that we have because you would probably think my best friend knew and said nothing, but my best friend used to be coming home by you. And also we would be going out together and socializing. You would have a little problem now to have to deal with that best friend.
Definitely. And it sets such a negative tone. It's so heavy. There's a heaviness that comes with not having trust in a relationship, and then it branches off into so many other things.
Yes, it does.
So really quickly before we wrap, one other thing that you were right, we can't even get to half of the 10 because of the time. But before we wrap, really quickly, one other cause of problems.
When we have different goals in life and we have not tried to find that the compatibility of the goals. So I want a promotion and I want to go to Trinidad to pursue that promotion. But my wife may not think that's a goal that she wants to do to uproot the family and go to Trinidad.
Right.
But I may make a position that this is what I want. Then I would now have a problem on my hand because I am now going to separate the family. That also has implication. If I'm in Trinidad and I can't come up every weekend, I'm coming up once a month or twice a month. What does that do to the children? What does that do to the family? What does it do to the trust issues? When I'm in Trinidad, what am I doing? When she's in Tobago, what she's doing? So the goals we got to sit down and work out the goals as to how best to be able to do it and make some sacrifice in order to make it.
Definitely. And this information, there's so much that you give, there's so much that you can instill. And I know persons want to know, okay, how do I reach Mr. Michael Stewart? Because I feel that he needs to be a witness to something that I'm going through. I feel that he's a good listener. How do we contact you if we need to get in that space with you?
Well, I'm on Facebook, I'm on social media. My telephone number is 868-480-0080. And I put in the 868 for those who are probably outside of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And I have a website, michael80stewart.com. Just go to the website, you could communicate with me there. Many of the things that I do are on that website. And of course, I'm on WhatsApp. So people can use that same number, 868-480-0080, to get me on WhatsApp.
And it's quite simple, 868-480-0080. It's quite simple. It just kind of rings off your tongue there, a bit. And we have to invite you back. So it's not even a question that you need to come back, because we still have to get into the causes that we did not get to mention. And so you still have to come back and sit with me and have the discussion.
And I look forward to it.
So blessings to you. Oh my gosh. Success in whatever you endeavor to do. Thank you for your work. Thank you for being that catalyst for information.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, and appreciate all that your station does to educate the public.
Thank you so much. And we are going to be right back with more Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Of course, our trivia question for today, I cannot leave without mentioning it again. What is the name of the island of the northeast tip of Tobago? End of the show? Yeah, I'll have that answer for you because I'm wondering myself what the answer could be. All right, so we're going to take a break. We're going to be right back. Of course, book club is up next. You don't want to miss this one. So come on back to Brunch. I promise it's going to be really, really awesome. Come on back. We'll see you soon.